Hello, I wanted to include a video this month with my newsletter because I seem to really have struck a chord in June's newsletter around the topic of loneliness. And it's something that I really, it was palpable when I went back to the Western world in April and May. And so I said I would talk a little bit more about it, and I got a really good response from people about wanting to talk more about it. And the first thing I think is good to talk about is the difference between being alone and being lonely. And I think you can very much be alone without being lonely. In order to do that, there has to be a comfort level within yourself, an intimacy with yourself. And that's what I'm really finding people are lacking. There's this disconnection from who we even are beyond the titles, the business cards, the roles. I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a wife, I'm a husband, I'm a doctor, I'm a teacher, I'm a brother, I'm a sister, I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a healer, I'm anything like that. But who are you on the inside? That real essence of who you are. And that connection, I think, is really what we're missing. That connection to the uniqueness of who you are. You know, we spend so much time trying to fit in with society and fit in with our community, and you know, this person's doing this and now I'm doing this and this is all the rage, and some of that is fun and whatever. It's nice to be in community, but I think we've really lost touch with, but who am I? Who's standing in these shoes? What is the expression that wants to truly come out of this body? And in order to find that, I think the biggest thing, or maybe not the biggest thing, but one of the main things is we need to come back to some silence in our lives. Every time I walked into a house, almost every time in the Western world, there's either a TV or a radio on, whether anyone was in the room or not. And when you sit down with someone or someone comes to sit with you, very few seconds go by where there's conversation that has to be had, chit-chat. And my question is, why are we so scared of silence? It's like the moment that there's space, we have to fill it with sound. You know how when there's a little kid who's, I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 years old, they just talk. It's like they have to fill the space all of the time with this newfound vibration that they can create. But we're no longer like those little kids. This is actually the space. Is actually, we're not like they're learning a new tool. They're trying to figure out communication. But really what we need to do at this point in our lives is we need to come back in for this inner communication. Like, what's going on in here? And what happens when there's actually silence? And I've asked people that, and what they say is, well, then my mind gets going and it starts asking all these questions or telling me everything I haven't done, or all of this kind of negative self-talk, or this kind of degrading, oh, you shouldn't have done this, or I can't believe you did that, or oh, there's these 25 things that you're supposed to be doing, or just constant worry and anxiety. And that in and of itself is the first place to look. Like, really, that's all we've got for ourselves? When we have a moment to spare, and we're constantly complaining about, well, I can't ever do this because they do this, or I have to do this, my job, my family, you know, everything outside of us is stopping us from actually being able to really be our true selves. But then when we have a moment of being our true selves, we fill it immediately with some external source. And if it's because in that moment we're just filled with this negativity, this anxiety, you have to really ask yourself, like, who's on your team Do you actually really want to be happy? Do you want to be calm and peaceful? My guess is if you're watching this and if you subscribe to my newsletters, the answer is yes, you do want that. And so it's time to actually go into the one place where you can begin to make some changes. You can't change the outside world. If you've got a family, if you've got work, little of that routine and schedule and that busyness can probably change. There might be some things that you can adjust, but in general, there's things that have to get done. So the only thing that you can start to really work on is in those moments when you're in the car driving to work, or you have 20 minutes at home before everybody else gets home. That space in time when it's just you, can you just be silent? Can you actually look at the craziness that goes on in your mind when it starts to spurt out all this negativity, all of this harshness, just interjected right back into yourself? Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. And we all do it. And so who can stop that but you? But you have to be quiet to catch it. Stop yourself by saying, is that true? Am I really a loser? Am I really lazy for taking 15 minutes to actually just sit on the chair in silence? Am I actually unloved because I don't have 25 plans over the weekend? Is that really true? Start to ask yourselves, cut your mind off. There is something bigger than your thoughts, and it's in you. You don't have to get it anywhere else. It's in you. But you have to start to grab it and let it become the master of the mind. So when those thoughts come, ask yourself, is that true? Are all these thoughts true? And then if you have a moment, take a couple of breaths. Just breathe in. Breathe out. And feel your body. What's going on in your body? Is there anxiousness? Are there pains? What could you do to support your body? Maybe that's a 10-minute rest. Maybe that's a promise that you're going to eat a good meal today. You're going to have fresh food today. Maybe that means you're going to stretch. You're going to take 10 minutes before you go to bed and you're just going to do some stretching, basic stretching, to give your body a little bit of release. It doesn't take much to start to pay attention. Who are you in this body? Who's standing in these shoes? Not a title, not a role, but what's inside? And if you say it's just the mind full of negativity, you are so much more than your mind. Start to gain control of that. Fight back. Bring it on, mind. Tell me all the crazy negative thoughts that you want to tell me in this 30 seconds I'm going to give you to just go off. Go off for 30 seconds. Give me everything you got. And then look at how ridiculous it is. How crazy. It's grabbing at anything that may or may not even be true in this moment. And then say, stop. Okay, you've had your piece. Now, for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm just going to check in. What's going on here? Where do I need some support? Don't go to food immediately. Sweets, comfort food, this will make me feel better. You might need to drink some water or some tea. But be soft. Be gentle. Be on your team. Let me know how this feels for you. send me a message, give me some feedback.